Now it's time for the inaugural, and it's time to inaugurate the 15th edition of the Best Practices Meet. Interestingly, DSCI also completed its 15 years yesterday, and BPM was the first conference to be hosted by DSCI. As we celebrate the 15th year, we extend our gratitude and pay tribute to all our long-standing members and stakeholders for guiding and supporting us throughout the 15-year journey that we've had. Without all of your support, we would not have reached where we are today. So can we give a huge round of applause to the entire community that runs, supports, and fuels DSCI forward. We have a small video to commemorate the occasion, which will quickly walk us through the journey and the building blocks of DSCI. So can we have the AV, please? Starting off with an absolute bang. With that, I would now like to call Mr. Vinayak Godse, Chief Executive Officer, Data Security Council of India, on stage. Vinayak, request you to deliver the inaugural address. Over to you.
Thank you. The entire Bangalore community, cybersecurity professional coming from other cities as well. So this is the 15th best practice meet, and you know that history of best practice meet is before even origin of DSCI. So those are the days where DSCI team would come to Bangalore. I think JPM is here, and we used to engage with the professionals here. And from that, there are a lot of things which initial days of DSCI which happened. So there was a steering committee of industry which was set up, and they initially helped us to look at what DSCI should be doing basically. So initial 2-3 years had gone to just discover what should we do as a DSCI, right? Some of the things that you have seen it here. We thought about it as a community here together. So DSCI is not something which is a kind of a typical advisory or consulting or strategic consulting company. It's like a built on the community strength, basically. It's built on the strength of the security professionals in the country. And that's why the first program that we started is a content aggregation program. It's like working with industry. We met hundreds of you, kept coming to Bangalore, kept coming to Mumbai and also Delhi. So we have three or four community that we engage at DSCI. When you come here, it's mostly the technology companies, technology community basically. If you go to Mumbai, so we do this financial security conclave. So most of the user organization sits out of Mumbai, right? All the banks, insurance company, and we enjoy engaging with them because all the things that we have been doing, so they are the user of technology basically, right? And then and Delhi, we all know that it's largely engaged in policy making. The 2008 was also important year. So today we are also landing on moon. The Chandrayaan first was on 2008. So that time there was the act, cybersecurity, IT act that we talk about, which was amended basically. And there was a history of this 2611 happening in the country, and because of that, this act had come in the picture. And after that, I think things started looking at. And initially days, we started pushing with the technology industry, but when Aadhaar came in, and the domestic digitization that has been picked up in the country, so most of the domestic Indian companies started seeing the value that we had been putting together. And but they helped us to create a lot of those capabilities of DSCI. And those initial discoveries that we had been doing with the technology companies here, and plus the plus kind of user interactions that we had, and we engaged with a lot of communities in Delhi. So that's the initial days of DSCI where I used to get a lot of time to think, to write, and that's why this DSCI security privacy framework come into picture, and that really paved the way, because that's a content aggregation program. It's not like a DSCI created its own, but talking to industry, talking to expert, create a content which can be used by industry. And to our surprise, it was picked up by industry very well. So entire privacy profession, we know that we always have global companies coming and building or giving certification programs in security and other technology area. But DSCI, probably because of that and because of the kind of traction we got, could able to create something out of it. So the DSCI is credential, privacy credential, 2,000 plus people now trained and certified. So we could able to contribute to the privacy profession in this country. We are able to work and engage with all of this industry sector in cybersecurity space. And initially the membership was largely focused on technology industry, but it's growing on now in the user industry. So I can say at this point in time, 10 top bank of India now DSCI is member. 10 top 5 oil energy company or DSCI is member now. Power sector organization, the health sector organization, airport infrastructure, and we are surprised to see somebody like shipbuilding companies. So there is a lot of interest in terms of, not only interest, it's also compulsion. So work and engage with somebody like DSCI who understand all those contexts. Context of industry, context of the government, context of the national security initiative, context of the policies, regulation, laws that are getting written for cyber security. Not only is happening at a national level, but we see a lot of things happening at a sector level as well. So RBI started, but now insurance regulator early this year published a very comprehensive guideline for insurance company. And now in June itself, SEBI came up with a very comprehensive resiliency framework for the capital sector organization. So we see the play of DSCI is to work with the national security machinery of the country. And this national security machinery is MIT, Ministry of Data and IT, but now MHA, and then Department of Telecommunication, now National Security Coordinator's Office. That's also a very interesting development we started seeing. After 2012, we wrote this first paper of a DSCI, secure our cyber frontiers. So cyber security was not a word we used to use earlier, right? And that report put a lot of those possibilities. We started to engage with the national security agencies. That time, Deputy NSA team, which are looking at, and that led to first, we are not claiming full credit, but there are a lot of other development also happened. But first national security policy, which came in 2013, then National Security Coordinator's Office came, CERT became an entity which has an empowerment, and CIPC for critical sector had came, and the national cybersecurity machinery of the country started gaining kind of a shape and kind of structure there, and with a legal empowerment also happened with that. And then that follows the regulatory and policy ecosystem in the country, right? And then we had been initially dealing with all of those concerns, and that time we started seeing RBI, so we happen to be part of RBI's, a lot of the engagement RBI does to regulate the financial sector. But all these things that we are saying in terms of digitization, digital public infrastructure, the way that we have transformed the economy, digital economy, and we'll be transforming in other sectors as well. So all those developments are happening, and now at this juncture of 2020-23, basically, right? So we are now come to a level where all of us, I myself started my career focusing on assurance and audit and those kind of capabilities in cybersecurity. And we came from that basically, right? We started working by doing testing in application network, and we started our career with that. some organizations still doing that. They're still relying on doing yearly kind of penetration testing, doing a kind of quarterly vulnerability assessment. And the security has changed a lot. 2021 was a very crucial year. And in 1 year, we have almost 21 unicorns came in cybersecurity space. So there used to be one Infosys senior leader with whom we used to track the type of technology. So there are 1,000 different type of technology that you have in the cybersecurity space, because cybersecurity, as we are expanding, as we are exposing, as we are, footprint is now getting more and more exposed to internet, a lot of use cases are going thrown basically, right? And that require you to really look at how to solve that use case in a way that you are managing problem in more real-time basis. So management of problem in real-time basis becomes so important, and that's why innovation becomes important, because it's not like you are discovering problem now and then you are waiting for that to be solved in some time. So things can happen to you now itself. And million situations can be going well for you, but there could be one situation which could probably jeopardize the security and probably create a larger ramification. So getting hold of that 1 in million, getting hold of that issue which will create a ramification, so that started getting a part of security governance. Security governance is not letting that one issue to create a bigger issue, right? And for that, then we started investing on a real-time technologies which could help you identify what is going wrong and also help you take those enforcement actions, basically. And then putting together entire security operation ecosystem, and that's why apart from our domestic requirement for cybersecurity, our Indian companies started serving a lot of global requirements of security. Not only that, a lot of global companies are doing cybersecurity out of India, basically, right? And we had the GCC sub-summit yesterday. And that sub-summit talks about how different kind of work which is happening, global work happening out of India, and many more such kind of work is coming to India. So some years back, NASSCOM started recognizing industry as an IT industry. And now time has come for us to recognize cybersecurity industry. It's almost $17 billion industry. 500,000 people are working in cybersecurity in the country, solving a lot of Indian and global problems for cybersecurity. And I'm happy to say that when we started looking at cybersecurity, started looking at the product in cybersecurity, 10, 12 years back, there were only 10, 15 companies. We have now 300 cybersecurity product startups in the country. 2,000 plus companies do cybersecurity out of India, basically. And variety of different work which is happening, and variety of new chapters are getting open for us. We have one automotive and hardware security sub-summit yesterday, basically. And that sub-summit has brought people together to think about what could go wrong, and a lot of new concept idea which is coming in cybersecurity. Fundamental changes are happening in cybersecurity space. And those fundamental changes are driving the way we have been looking for cybersecurity. Yes, we do have skill. There is a report recently, some years back, somebody published, only India and US has the skill for cybersecurity for global work. And only that skill is the leadership that we are providing to the world. We always hear about the Israel as an example, but India has a much better story in terms of the number of things that we do out of India and the total number of industry. Israel industry is around $12 billion cybersecurity industry. We have almost $17 billion cybersecurity industry. And all this work is happening, and that also is changing the way DSA also behaved in last 6, 7 years of time. So you would see that we are investing more to understand the research in cybersecurity field. So we engage with all of those IITs, all of those tier 1, tier 2 institutions doing research in cybersecurity space. We track research of 300 plus professors. We created a fund to invest into research. We try to get industry closer to the researcher. We had been nurturing startup, and there was whatever we have been trying to do for startups, the government also supported us. That's why National COE, you have one pavilion set up here for National COE, which is nurturing the startups in cybersecurity space. And those startups are getting quite interesting traction in private sector companies had been doing it, but government also brought a lot of policy intervention so that these startups have started getting quite interesting traction in the government sector, POC sector as well. And now we have some leaders from defense which joined DSCI after retirement. Because of that, we are opening up a lot of possibility in defense sector. We are working with Army, we are working with Navy, we are working with Air Force, and we are seeing that probably in the US, we have seen that the defense ecosystem is contributing to develop new technology. there is a lot of possibility that we see in India that we working with closely with defense, and our defense ecosystem is also getting modernized. They also need support of this ecosystem, basically. And we are trying to see how can we build this ecosystem. And Bangalore is certainly a destination for that. Entire technology, Air Force is here, a lot of things, Army happens here. There is a lot of things that we do with Navy in Mumbai. So there is a lot of possibility that are in front of us when we work with this kind of critical sector organization and try to look at the use cases which could potentially create technology. Yesterday, in the research summit, we talk about why this research needs to be converted in product. And this productization of research is a very important agenda that we have taken with us. We are working with not only Indian company, but a lot of GCCs are working with us on the cyber innovation agenda. And then when we look at the future from now, right, and some of the things that we are talking from now, so we always get captivated with the generative AI and the things that it is doing for us. But the future from now is very interesting future, at the same time challenging future. For example, quantum computing coming in, and it likely to have a challenge for security the way we built it now, basically. So are we ready for that? So entire computing will become hybrid computing. So at one point in time, we'll have bits, this conventional semiconductor computing would have qubits like quantum, and now people are working on neuromorphic computing as well. So there is a bits, qubit, and neuron coming together. That's a hybrid computing age that will be coming. Are we ready to take care of security of that? So the kind of standards which are evolving, for that matter, one standard I was looking at in terms of hardware. So we'll have 10 Gbps second kind of a 6G, we'll have 600 MB camera in our mobile phone, 1.4 nanometer kind of a processor on our mobile phone. So then high-speed data that will be transferred, high-volume, high-speed data that will be transferred, basically. So would the current security able to withstand with that, basically? So some of these questions that we need to understand, because now the things are accelerating so fast. People say that once we cross this 1,000 qubits, and probably it will cross, there will be definitely a lot of challenges with crossing 6,500 qubits. After that, things will be very different. So preparing for that age is very important part, basically. So then there is a program that we are running now, Future of Security, try to understand the future better and try to see whether we can prepare for that now. Critical sector, future. Now the last point is the data privacy, which I want to talk about on the context of the new act which got passed. And there's a history of all of those exchanges happened in the last 5 years, and this now act is reality. So there's a principle and the rules which will be coming. With that, what will be changing for us, basically? On one hand, we talk about digitization, innovation. On one hand, we talk about more data needs to be shared, more data needs to be flowing, more data needs to be used for a lot of innovation, other possibilities. And other hand, we talk about all those obligations and liabilities coming on that one. How do you strike balance between that, basically? How can we still make things to work without compromising privacy? So a lot of technology interventions are required for that. And that's why increasingly we are focusing on technology. We have now a specific team to work on technology area. And we all know that we all are working towards more kind of a technology way of managing security, because the volume and velocity of the things that we have been doing and deploying is quite significantly changing. And the pace at which it's happening, so that requires a lot of technology intervention. And Bangalore is a global technology center, and a lot of possibilities that we see happening it here. A lot of startups are from here, and we'd like to see how we all can engage together, because creation is co-creation nowadays. Sharing those use cases. So we were in defense establishment some couple of days back. They were also looking at the use cases. Somebody need to build a technology. So I was talking about, there's one use case, one of the defense establishments thrown to us. Like for malware protection, there is a content, now people are now talking about CDR, content disarmament and reconstruct. And there are very few company, one is Israel-based company who has capability. So that challenge was thrown, and there is one startup which is based out of Madurai. They develop CDR in India, basically. So such kind of use cases needs to be intermediate, they needs to be exchanged, they needs to be proactively talked about, and needs to be put for the development of technology. And there is an ecosystem that exists now. There's investments also happening in cybersecurity startup quite significantly. So what I'm saying that the cybersecurity had come to that inflection point where possibilities is getting associated with cybersecurity. So until now it was to be protected, to be defended. But now there are a lot of possibilities. Possibilities for individual to make their career and grow in cybersecurity, possibility of technology, possibility of services, possibility of really making things together, and probably possibilities of finding those ideas basically which could change the way things would happen in the future. And security is enabling a lot of those possibilities as well. So most possibility of digitization is now possible because of digitization. So security technology, some of them basically are paving the new innovations as well. And that's what the age that we see in the coming future, and that's what the effort that we will put together with help and contribution from all of you basically. So team here in DSCI is quite significantly expanded now, almost 80 people in DSCI now. And there are some people in Bangalore as well, in other cities as well. So we'll like to expand as much as we can, but yes, the support from government is coming in. But this ecosystem of security and this industry that we like to see, probably we will be in the position, and we definitely want to do that. NASSCOM every year puts some kind of a demand and asks to government for budget for IT industry. With your support, we will like to make first time the demand from the industry for cybersecurity industry. A budgetary commitment coming from the government for cybersecurity industry. So those, we have come to that level now, distinctly recognizing this industry, its requirements, its challenges and issue. And I believe what we achieved in cybersecurity, we will see similar thing happening in privacy as well. We like to see the privacy industry also going with this basically. So all that is happening, and all that DSCI is preparing. We have been also, I will not talk about DSCI's commercial offering, but probably we'll be also putting something for privacy as well, in some additional thing for privacy. So with this support and the kind of contributions from this community, especially from Bangalore and other cities come here, so it's been very crucial and critical the way DSCI has come to the age now, basically. So 15 years is a long journey. I had been there for 15 years, but we see next 10 years will be very challenging for all of us, for us as well. But together we can certainly thrive a lot of those possibilities and make cybersecurity really very center of all the discussion which happens in technology in the country. I really request you all to be here, welcome you to Best Practice Meet, and be with us, look at all those sessions happening, go and meet the startups, all those exhibitors here basically, be part of some of those small interactions that we have done for, and they say most of the events are like dialogue-based interactions. We are not here to preach, but we are here to make people come and discuss about those. So a lot of parallel track sessions are there in the afternoon, so please be there. Any feedbacks, any inputs that you have for the next thing. Before I close, I really want to thank all the sponsors and some idea that we put together for this sub-summit. With this community, and we thought that we can have a sub-summit in different areas. And the kind of response we got from all of these partners, Target, Bosch, TCS, and IIIT, that encourages us that we do much more next year, basically. So you'll see much more expanded nature of Best Practice Meet, and we did deliberate intensely on those 4 areas that we talk about, and we'll see a very different kind of Best Practice Meet, and it's a new experimentation, new idea. Thank you all for supporting us for these ideas, and we'll keep doing many more kind of things like this. So I welcome you all, and thank you all for all the support that you have got to us for the last 15 years. Thank you.